long prelude to get warmed up.
Mic check.
I just added that for myself. Thank you.
Could you give me some kind of signal to know when you're speaking?
Yeah, it's actually going to be during the closing hymn, the one called Courage to Be. This one at the very end. And I'll
Good
be
morning.
speaking throughout.
Hey, happy Father's Day for all you dads out there. Let's turn around and give a hello wave to all the people watching online on there. My name's Eddie Chen, and I'm a member of the board. Yeah?
Good job.
Better?
Better.
I'm Eddie Chen. I'm a member of the board for at least another 15 days. But who's counting? I'd like to, it's my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the board and the program council. You're welcome here, whoever you are, wherever you're from, and wherever you're on your journey. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about TVUUC, you can fill out the visitor card that's in the back seat pocket or the pew in front of you and place it in the collection plate when it goes by, and someone will be in touch with you. And you could also register on our website at tvuuc.org. If you're interested in classes for your children here at TVUUC, normally you could visit our religious exploration table out in the lobby, but no one's going to man it there, so you can run, been told that you can go down the RE section of the church and run down somebody and they can answer any question that you may have. And also there's a wealth of information on the church website. And I've got a few announcements here. Lynn Hickson would like to thank all those who have signed to help with the Pride next Saturday. Please make plans to attend the bigger and best South Knox Pride yet, Saturday, June 21st, 12 to 6 on Sevier Avenue. Then announcements from beloved community members and friends: Elnora Williams, Lisa Shields, Mary Rogie, Chloe, me, Patsy Farmer, Lisa Aaron, Seema Singh, and MJ Aiken. The MLK Junior Parade and March and Juneteenth celebration set for June 19th, 2025. The MLK Commemorative Commission invites the entire community to join in a day of unity, remembrance, and celebration at the 2025 MLK Junior Parade March and Juneteenth celebration, beginning with a community march and ending with an afternoon celebration. This annual event honors freedom, progress, and the enduring legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Parade lineup is at 8:30 a.m. at Chilhowie Park. Parade step-off is at 10 o'clock a.m. Juneteenth celebrations from 11 to 3 p.m. at Dr. Walter Hardy Park, 200 Bethel Avenue. Highlights include live music and performances, local DJ and line dancing, food trucks and retail vendors, health, community, and youth engagement areas. The TVUUC will have a booth on site there. Water is provided. Members are very welcome to provide their favorite snacks and drinks for the church booth. Snacks and drinks can be dropped off at the church up to June 18th. Snacks and drinks may be brought to the booth on June 19th at the Walter Hardy Park. And then I just wanted to say one thing, an announcement. How about the No Kings, rally yesterday? Yeah, we had 7,500 people come out to express their constitutional rights and protect democracy. And
1,000 in Maryville.
yeah, 1,000 in Maryville. There was 800, I think, in Oak Ridge. So, and a special thanks to Ken Stevenson and Joyce Green for helping set up our rally here at the church. Thank you. And let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, today is a Share the Plate offering, and Claudia is here to tell you about it.
Good morning. My name is Claudia Presley. I'm the Director of Finance and Operations here at TVUC. And as Eddie said, today is a Share the Plate offering. What that means is that half of everything that is given today in person or online or at one of our mobile kiosks, through our text giving, any way that you want to give, half of that is not marked as a pledge goes to our Share the Plate organization. That organization is the bottom, and Chloe is coming to tell you a little bit about it. But let me just remind you to give, cash your checks in the offering basket. You can scan the QR code at the back of the sanctuary. If you're watching online, there should be a Give or Give Now button. If you would like to text, the number is 73256. So now Chloe's going to tell you about the bottom.
Almost. Eddie put a sign up. All right. I have the great privilege of telling you a little bit about the bottom. Next week, you will have the privilege of having someone from the bottom here to do the presentation. But they did send me something to tell you about them with. It was founded by Dr. Nkeishi El Amin, who is a local sociologist studying race, place, and black communities. The bottom was named after the first black neighborhood in East Knoxville that was demolished in the 1950s by urban renewal. Rooted in community interviews and archival research, her work uncovered a resounding feeling of displacement and loss of space amongst Knoxville's black elders and youth. She wanted to do more than just conduct a study. She wanted to make an impact. And thus the idea of the bottom had begun to form. Her efforts joined those of other black women in Knoxville who also sought to do meaningful work. Today, the bottom stands as a collective working to reclaim and reimagine black space in Knoxville. What initially started with a youth sewing and entrepreneurial program in 2019 has grown into a hub of culture and togetherness. I lost my place. Through the support of the community, the space now has a tea room, a podcast studio, expanded art making studio, black empowerment bookstore, and and Alondria Williams Reading and Research Room. You can, yes. The bottom stands as a multi-use place to foster change and provide comfort. Rooted in place judgment, the organization stands to build community, celebrate culture, and engage the creativity of Black people in Knoxville. The bottom crew carries out their work through curated events, community projects, ongoing programming, shared resources, and physical space. Some of the current programs include Black creative meetups, ceramics at the bottom, sew it and sell it, and other things. At the bottom, community leaders, artists, educators, students, cultural workers, activists, and entrepreneurs blend culture, history, politics, and social issues in a strategic and engaging way. The bottom strives to cultivate a sense of belonging, togetherness, and safety for Black people in Knoxville and beyond. So please give generously and thank you.
Thank you, Claudia, and thank you, Chloe. After the service, please join us for coffee and conversation in the fellowship hall. Now, please silence your electronic devices as we enter into worship together.
No one here to guide you. Thank you. That was beautiful. Good morning, everyone. Once upon a time, and the story begins. In a land far, far away, and the story begins. It was a dark and stormy night, and the story begins. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, and the story begins. We hold these truths to be self-evident, and the story begins. According to the historical record, and the story begins. But what when the story feels incomplete? When it's missing the world we know? When the hero does harm, and monsters have stories of their own? What then? We listen for the whole story. We begin to ask whose voice is missing, who is left out, and what else happened. Then, the real story begins. Come, let us worship together.
Please remain standing. Join in our. Come on, Ernie. I'm Ernie. No. It's time for your story. Okay. I'm sorry.
There's more of the story to tell. All right. For this story for all ages, this is participatory. So I'm going to need a handful of volunteers when I call for you. And then I'm going to need the rest of the congregation to join in with some sound effects. You think you can do that? All right. So once upon a time, there was a council of elders in a great, prosperous village. And the council of elders decided that one day they would hire a royal painter to come and paint a picture of what their community looked like, what was the most important and beautiful things about their village. And so they had the mayor. I need someone to come up and be the mayor. Volunteer? No? Come on up. And they dressed the mayor in beautiful purple sashes. And they had them stand very proudly. Perfect. Hold that pose. And the mayor stood in front of the village castle. So the village castle, every time you hear that, I want you to make a noise of fanfare trumpets. And so they had the mayor in front of the castle. And then they thought, you know what else we need? We need to highlight our wonderful, beautiful resources. So we need to highlight our river that runs through our village, sparkling, clean, refreshing, crisp, clear waters. So I need someone to come and be our royal taste tester. Come on up. So our royal taste tester stood by the mayor and held the goblet up and took a great big swig, and this is the sound we're going to make. Can you do that? Oop. Great. So we had the mayor, and we had the royal taste tester for our sparkling clear water. But that wasn't all. Surrounding the village was a beautiful forest. And so they asked the forester to come forward from the village. Come on up. And he put the cloak around him, around his shoulders, and he stood next to the mayor and next to the royal taste tester. And then, the the forester, the royal forester. I just completely lost my track. Sorry. Who reminded everybody of the beautiful forest full of tweeting birds. Tweet, 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 tweet. And so the painter began to paint this lovely picture, but it felt incomplete because the painter realized that everything that was beautiful about the village would not be possible without the villagers. And so he decided to include the villagers. And so I need 2 villagers to come up. 2 villagers? All right. And these villagers put their work belts around their waists. Anybody else? Okay, we'll have somebody represent all the villagers. And the villagers were the ones who built the village. So I want you to bang a fist into your hand and make the sound of hammers, just like that. And so the picture began to look a little more complete. You had the mayor. You had the royal taste tester. You had the forester who went through the forest. Tweet, tweet, tweet. And you had the builder. But that wasn't all. This village wasn't all rainbows and sparkling water. Outside of the village, there also lived a very angry bear. So I need someone to come be a bear. Do you want to be the bear? All right. A very ferocious bear. It's got But the thing about this bear was he wasn't so ferocious at all. Just misunderstood. He wasn't grumpy, he wasn't ferocious. He was just sleepy, so I want you to yawn with me. And so, the picture of the village began to look a little bit more complete. We had the mayor. We had the royal taste tester. We had the forester in the forest. We had the builders and the villagers. And we had the bear that lived outside of town. And so I want to ask you, which is the better story? The one that just includes the 3 of the folks who represent the best about our town? Or the one that tells the story not just of the mayor, the royal taste tester, the forester in the forest, the builders and the villagers, and the grumpy bear, sleepy bear who lived outside of town? When we tell our whole story, it's a lot more fun. And that is our story this morning, so thank you.
Please open your hymn books to 153, or I woke up this morning. Please rise as you're able.
This morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind
may be summer, but we got lots of energy in here. I love it. So each week we set aside time in our service to share our joys and concerns as we acknowledge our experiences that connect us. If you'd like to connect with a member of the spiritual care team, our pastoral care line is always open to call or text. You can find that number in your order of service or in the weekly newsletter. This week, we are thinking of Faye Joyce, who is recovering from a fall that resulted in stitches over one eye and a badly broken little finger. Other than a huge cast on her arm and wrist, she reports that she is doing well and in good spirits. Yeah. We're also thinking of Alan Morgan, who continues to receive physical and speech therapy at Knoxville Rehabilitation Hospital after a stroke 2 weeks ago. His physical recovery has been great, so the emphasis now is on communication. Alan struggles to find and articulate the right words, so his ability at present to carry on a conversation is somewhat hit or miss. Pictures help a lot. He will be going home this Friday. He recognizes his friends and he loves visitors. However, if you want to visit, please call, not text, his wife Froni first to arrange a drop-by. We also want to recognize those who are volunteering this week for Family Promise, starting today. Family Promise of Knoxville is a service organization dedicated to helping families with children who are experiencing homelessness or home insecurity in Knox County and surrounding areas. Their mission focuses on helping these families reclaim their independence and transform their lives through community-based efforts. So thank you to those doing Family Promise. And with these joys and concerns on our hearts and minds, as well as those left unspoken, please join me in our congregational response. The words are printed in your order of service. I love memories. They are our ballads, our personal foundational myths. But I must acknowledge that memory can be cruel if left unchallenged. Memory is often our only connection to who we used to be. In that way, memories are like fossils, the bones left by dead versions of ourselves. More potently, our minds are a hungry audience craving only the peaks and valleys of experience. The bland erodes away, leaving behind the distinctive bits to be remembered again and again. Painful or passionate, surreal or sublime, we cherish those little rocks of peak experience, polishing them with ever-smoothing touch of recycled proxy living. In so doing, we make of our memories the gods by which we judge our current lives. I love this. Memory may not be the heart of what makes us human, but it's at least a vital organ. Nevertheless, we must take care not to let the bliss of the present fade when compared to supposedly better days of the past. We're happy, sure, but were we more happy then? If we let it, memories can make shadows of the now, as nothing can match the legends of our past. I think about this a great deal, for it is my job to sell legends. I package them, commodify them, and for a small price, I'll let you share my memories, which I solemnly promise are real, or will be as long as you don't cut them too deeply. Do not let memory chase you. Take the advice of one who has dissected the beast and then rebuilt it with a more fearsome face. Enjoy memory, yes, but don't become a slave to who you wish you once had been. Those memories aren't alive. You are, here, now. This coming Thursday is Juneteenth, our newest national holiday, which marks the end of chattel slavery in the United States. But the message of Juneteenth teaches a vital lesson. It doesn't mark the day the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. It marks the day 2.5 years later, when the last enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, finally learned that they were free. Juneteenth reveals the gaps between an official story and a lived truth. It forces us to ask our questions for today. Whose story is this, and who is left waiting for the news of their own liberation? In response to this history of delayed freedom and the long, stony road of justice that followed, James Weldon Johnson wrote a song, a prayer of hope and resilience that would become known as the Black National Anthem. Its very title, Lift Every Voice and Sing, is a sacred command to do the work that we are exploring today, to lift every story, especially those that have been silenced, into the light. And so, as we gather to receive our offering, let us prepare our hearts to receive this powerful anthem. And I'd like to invite everyone to rise.
My name is Elnora Williams. Just one second. This reading is from the 1619 project, A New Origin Story by Nicole Hannah-Jones. The singular racial history of the United States is therefore a dual racial history of two opposing forces: historical steps toward equity and justice, and historical steps toward inequity and injustice. But foregrounded in the telling are the steps toward equity and justice, and as part of a grand American narrative march of liberty and equality for all. This popular construct of racial progress does more than conceal and obfuscate. It actually undermines the effort to achieve and maintain equality. You can see this in the majority opinion written by Chief Justice John Roberts in Shelby County versus Holder in 2013. In that case, the Supreme Court struck down the section of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which required certain states and counties with a history of electoral racism to receive federal approval before changing local voting laws or practices. In his majority opinion, Roberts acknowledged that there had been a need for strong medicine against racism in 1965, but argued that since then, progress has rendered such policies unnecessary. There is no denying, however, that the conditions that originally justified these measures no longer characterize voting in the covered jurisdictions he wrote. Things have changed dramatically. Inequality lives, in part because Americans of every generation have been misled into believing that racial progress is inevitable and ongoing. That racial progress is America's manifest destiny. That racial progress defines the arc of American history since 1619. That things have changed dramatically. In fact, this has more often been rhetoric than reality, more often myth than history. Saying that the nation can progress racially is a necessary statement of hope. Saying that the nation has progressed racially is usually a statement of ideology, one that has been used all too often to obscure the opposite reality of racial progress, and has been this way since the beginning.
Once upon a time, I was 5 years old. My mom, my brother, and I had been through a nasty divorce, and my mom remarried. In my 5-year-old world, labels were everything. The man I had called my dad fit into one box. My stepdad, the man who was there every day, fit into another, and the boxes couldn't touch. One day, he took us to buy new bikes. As we were checking out, the woman behind the counter said, "It's so nice of your dad to buy you these." Panic shot through my little mind. This was wrong. It needed correcting. I looked her right in the eye and said, "He's not our dad. He's our stepdad." In my mind, it was simple. The person I knew as dad didn't buy us bikes or help us dig in the sandpit in the backyard. The man doing those things was my stepdad. I didn't think about that moment again, and years passed. My stepdad became, in every way that mattered, my dad. It wasn't until almost 2 decades later that I learned the truth about that day. I learned that my small, emphatic correction had been a quiet hurt that he carried with him all those years. how my need to be precise had landed as a rejection, a pain he carried quietly. It's a powerful reminder that love is built not on grand pronouncements, but in small, steady acts of showing up, and that even a 5-year-old's words carry enough weight to last a lifetime. But misunderstandings can go both ways. Back in college, when Tennessee was voting on their amendment to ban same-sex marriage, I asked my parents how they voted. My mom said she left it blank, but my dad's reaction was different. "I know exactly how I feel," he said at the dinner table with his voice rising. "I think it's disgusting. I'm sorry, John, I could just never vote for something like that." And he slammed his fork down on the table. He said, "This conversation is over," and he left the room. That one sentence haunted our relationship for the next 6 years. I built a wall around my heart, convinced he could never accept me. I censored my life, kept relationship secrets, and braced myself for the day I'd have to choose between my family and my own happiness. Years later, after I had finally painstakingly come out, and to my surprise was met with love, I worked up the nerve to ask my dad about his vote. "Dad," I asked, "what did you mean when you said you thought it was disgusting?" He looked at me confused, and then a look of realization crossed his face. "The amendment was disgusting," he said. "I was talking about the amendment. I could never vote for something like that." It had all been a misunderstanding, a pronoun without a clear home. For 6 years, my fear had written a story of rejection, while the truth, a story of acceptance, was there all along, waiting to be heard correctly. These two stories are really the same story. Uncovering more of the story, telling that more complete story, dragons and all, even years later, it matters. I could have gone my whole life shut out from my dad and my relationship with him. It could have looked much the same as it did in college, walls and secrets. But uncovering the stories of our past has led to a better life in the now. I'm a big sci-fi and fantasy nerd. First, because it's cool. And second, because in stories and in fable, we can find deeper truths about who we are. In our first reading this morning, Brandon Sanderson spoke of the memories as our personal foundational myths. He warns us that we cherish the peaks and valleys and we polish them until they become the legends that we use to judge our present lives. I know what that's like. For 6 years, my relationship with my father was built on one of those polished, painful myths. A story of rejection that I told myself over and over, all based on a misunderstanding. But it was my story, my personal myth. But it was wrong. We do this to ourselves on an individual level. But what happens when a whole nation does this? It creates a collective myth. For our country, one of the most profound and painful examples is the story we tell of the history of enslaved people. We create a myth where the unimaginable brutality of slavery is softened, where its foundational role in our economy is minimized, and where its echoes in our society today are conveniently ignored. We tell ourselves a story that makes us feel better. We tell ourselves that partial story. Our second reading this morning tells us that for too long as a country, we have told truths to ourselves that only tell part of that history. A collective myth, one that omits the brutal realities and sanitizes the past to make us feel more comfortable in the present. This isn't just an academic idea. This is happening right now, today. Just this past week, the Department of the Interior issued a new directive for our national park system, requiring them to post signs in all of our national sites, inviting visitors to give feedback on any information or story that they feel portrays American history in a negative light. Let's be clear about what this is. It is a national, government-sanctioned invitation to whitewash our collective memory, sometimes literally. It's an official request to turn away from difficult truths. But official invitations like this are not going unanswered. There's work happening right here in our community and in our state. Just yesterday, I know many of us and our friends and family were out in the streets for the No Kings rally, standing up against authoritarianism. That work, that protest, is a form of sacred storytelling. It's a public declaration that one single top-down narrative is not enough. It's a demand that the stories of all people matter. That same work happens when you show up to school board meetings to defend challenged books, when we support our friends and neighbors who are under attack, and when you have difficult, truthful conversations at your own dinner tables. This is why our work as people of faith, as seekers of truth, is so critical. We must be the ones willing to cut more deeply. We are called to look at the stories that were told, both personal and collective, and ask the hard questions. Whose story is this? Who is left out? What else happened? Like we did in our Story for All Ages this morning, we're called to look at the beautiful, celebrated picture of our village and our collective town and asks, where are the builders? Where are the grumpy, sleepy bears? We're called to seek out the uncomfortable parts, the messy parts, the parts that have been intentionally erased, because that is where the whole story, where the truth lies. This is hard work, and it can be overwhelming. As the beautiful song we heard this morning said, it can be hard to see the light now. But our faith and the words of that same song remind us, just don't let go. Things will come out right. We can make it so. We make it so by the courage to choose the truth over the comfort of a well-told lie. We make it so by the courage to seek out the builder, to listen and look for the sleepy bears, and honor the parts of our story that don't sparkle. We do it with the courage to hold the whole complicated, painful, beautiful truth in our hands and call it sacred. Because the truth is its own kind of light. It doesn't promise a simple happy ever after. It promises something far more powerful, a chance to heal what is broken, a chance to build a future that is not a fairy tale, but is finally, blessedly true. May we be brave enough to seek that light, and may we be strong enough to let it shine. May we make it so. And in that spirit of making it so, I invite you to rise, embody your spirit, and join us for our final hymn, Courage to Be Who We Are. The words are printed in your order of service.
This hymn has 4 verses, but you only have one. So the first verse starts with, we are here in the memory. The second verse, we are standing in the memory. Third is, we are singing in the memory. And for the fourth verse, hum gently as you hear a message about how this song was composed. We are here in the memory of those who have fallen, those who have fallen, those who have fallen. We are here in the memory are standing.
We are standing in the memory of those who have fallen, those who have fallen, those who have fallen. We are standing in the memory of those who have fallen. Here for the courage to be who we are. Courage to be who we are.
We are singing.
We are singing in the memory of those who have fallen, those who have fallen, those who have fallen. We are singing in the memory of those who have fallen. Here for the courage to be who we are. Courage to be who we are.
Now humming. Ruth Huber writes, "Courage to be who we are" was written to commemorate the life of Gwen Amber Rose Araujo and to celebrate the lives of beautiful and courageous trans people everywhere. Courage to be who we are.
Courage to be who we are.
One more time.
Courage to be who we are.
A brilliant poet once wrote, "The world is not made up of atoms, it is made up of stories." And so, as we go from this place, I invite you to go out into the world and find those stories that your world is made of. May it be so. As our last act of worship, I invite you to turn and greet your neighbors.